Today we're speedrunning through Choo Choo Charles, a game that I've been excited about for a while. Now our speedrun will start as soon as we skip past our first cutscene and we get to hear Eugene go, "Yes, sir." Gotta love Eugene. But yeah, basically we're gonna get boated over and Eugene is gonna explain what exactly our mission is, which is going to take out the spider train called Choo Choo Charles. So we arrive at a pretty dark island, not sure why we came at night, but to start out it's kind of just a tutorial. We have to wait for Eugene, talk to him, then go through this door, see his eyeballs, which is kind of my favorite part about the speedrun, and then we're ditching Eugene because he's pretty slow and we already know where we need to go, which is going to be over to a shed to get a key so we can open up a door and get to our train. Pretty standard movement on the way over there, just sprinting and stuff. And once we make it over to this building, we're just opening the door, picking up the key, and jumping past that fence. For some reason, Eugene didn't want to come with us. He's just waiting over here. But you know, he's going to get what's coming to him in just a bit because we're going straight over to the train. We're going to use the gun, go to Eugene, talk to him, and then we can start the train right away instead of going through all the other stuff. And yeah, we crash right through there, and it's time to take on Charles.
We're coming for you, Charles!
Yeah, Eugene, we're coming for you. Anyways, here's where Charles is first gonna show up, and Eugene wants to teach us how to shoot him, but we're gonna stand here and kind of just watch. Actually, I'm not even going to watch. I'm going to look away after a little bit because we want to start our train as soon as possible. As soon as Charles kills Eugene, it's going to stop the train because it wants us to wait for him and go check on him. But yeah, we don't really care. A little cold-blooded, but I'm sure that Eugene is really happy with Charles right now. They're made for each other. And yeah, other than that, Charles leaves us alone for now, so we can make our way to our first waypoint, which is going to be this NPC. Thankfully, you can open the map while the game is still going, so the train will still move while we have to mark objectives. But for this first part of the game, we're kind of just riding the train for a bit. The map in this game is huge, so we're going to combine both riding the train and running ourselves. Like right here, we're not going to switch the rails, we're instead going to go left, which you'll see why we're doing this in just a little bit. And I'm gonna wait until I'm about 450 meters away until I start running. Okay, we seem about at that point, so I can start running straight over to my objective. And yeah, there's not too much to say here. I'm pretty sure Charles can't actually attack you right now. I could be wrong, but I've never gotten him to attack me right here, so we're kind of just running. And it's also nice because it's a pretty direct way over to our waypoint. Sometimes we will want to utilize things like jumps if the train's a little rocky, but for the most part, we can just run. Now, once we make it over to this first building, we're going to get a couple of things called scrap. These are what we can use to upgrade our train and give our train more health if it starts breaking down. So what we want to do is pick up a couple scrap. There's going to be about 4 right here that we're going to want to get before we talk to this lady named Helen, who is going to tell us our first objective, which is to collect 3 eggs, so we can use that to actually battle Charles to the death. And yeah, that's our first NPC who gives us a key to make our way over to the egg. After that, we want to get our flamethrower. We'll see this guy with his building burning on fire, and we're going to help him. What we're going to do is come up here, get a little more scrap because it's always nice to have a good amount, and turn on this, which is going to cause some water. We can go jump right down, and he's going to give us the bug spray, which, like I said, it's pretty much just a flamethrower. Now after this, we're going to grab that scrap as well and head over to the right, kind of following the rails, but a more direct path to our next objective, which is going to be the first cave where the cultists live. Yes, this game has cultists who worship the spider train and want to help him instead of hurt him, and they're going to be the ones protecting his eggs, so we have to make our way through them, trying not to die. Eventually, we'll make it over to this cliffside. I can jump right down. There's going to be another piece of scrap right at the entrance, and we can open this door since we got the key from Helen. After this, it's a pretty linear path. We're kind of just running forward because we know where to go. I mean, it's a little more scary when you're actually playing it the first time, but it's a speedrun. Horror games always become much less scary when you're speedrunning them. It's going to try to introduce us to stealth, but we actually don't want to use stealth for one very specific reason. And that's because we actually want this guy to kill us, but not before we make it out of the cave. We'll take the egg right there, we'll get some more scrap, and I'm going to keep checking back to make sure the guy's following me, because sometimes their AI can get messed up, like right there. I'm not sure what he was doing, but yeah, we just want him to follow us out of the cave. Otherwise, it's not going to be saved that we got the egg, so we got to make sure he stays aggro. Now, as soon as we're able to make it out of the cave, you'll see that our objective got updated, so we can then go back, get this guy to shoot us in the face a couple of times. We do lose 2 scrap. I believe you can lose anywhere from 1 to 3 scraps, so that was okay. But we're gonna load back in where our train was when we left it. Luckily, when you jump off the train, it actually stops moving, so we don't have to worry about it just going on forever. And yeah, this is gonna put us in the perfect place to go to our next objective. Now, right now, what I'm gonna look for is some boxes. Basically, there can be some boxes that randomly spawn, and they'll give you extra scrap, which is really important for our final fight. And we actually found one right here, which is very lucky. So I'll jump off our train. It looks like we just got 3. You can get any anywhere from 1 to 9 scrap from those boxes, so that was okay. Also then go upgrade my speed one more time, go into my map, and set our next waypoint, which is going to be in this little crevice where we're going to get another weapon. But yeah, other than that, we just got to ride the train for a while. Oh, and we just heard Charles. Okay, so whenever you hear Charles bells, he might be coming towards you, but sometimes he's not able to find you, and it looks like we're safe this time. Anyways, at this next intersection, we do want to change the rails, so we go over to the right instead of the left. I'm still a little worried about Charles, but it looks like we're going to be fine, and we can just keep going forward. Now after this, we're not going to change these rails, even though it would be a more direct path where we have to go, because we're going to just jump off the train as soon as we get around 330 meters away. So I will wait till about there, and then we're going to start our next running and jumping simulator. But this one doesn't last that long. We're pretty close. And on the way, there is going to be this building. I don't know what you would call it. This monument, I guess we'll say, where we can get that scrap right there, which I almost missed, and also scrap in the grass. Just moving on our way after that though. And now that we're over here, there's also going to be 2 more scrap, one on that platform and one on the ground right there, before we go over to our dynamite, because we have to open up something with this. Oh, I'm also going to take that scrap, and there's going to be this door which we can use the dynamite on. So we'll place that. We're going to go fairly far away from it so it doesn't murder us. It's going to explode now the door is open. Then we can also come right here, move that rock, so those explosives are going to start moving, and once we wait a little bit, then it's going to explode too. Don't worry about all this red stuff, it's just paint, surely. And we're going to take those explosives and then also get the scrap, which now we can go over to John Smith. The nice thing about this game, as you've been seeing, is we don't have to actually talk to an NPC to start their mission. We can just do the mission and then go to them afterwards. So that's nice, because it would kind of just be pointless if we had to talk to everybody. But yeah, we can take a pretty direct path over here, get 3 more scrap on the way, and once we make it over to this building, there's where John Smith is going to be, and he's going to give us the boomer, which is the rocket launcher. After this, we have one more person to talk to so we can get our next key. I will also take their scrap on the way. We'll talk to Greg, we got another key, and now it's time to die. And the way that we have to die here, since we don't have any cultists, is just jumping off while also collecting scrap while we're doing it. So I'm going to go to the top of this building, jump off a couple of times, and there we go. We got derailed, and we also lost 3 scraps right there, which really is not good. We're going to need some lucky boxes if we want to get a good run. But yeah, we're spawning back at our train, and we're going to be going to our next waypoint after we see this map thing, and we have to go to this blue person, which is going to be our next required mission. On the way there, I also will upgrade my damage. We can only do it to level 3 right now. Like I said, we definitely need to get some lucky boxes, but yeah, we're just going to be on these rails for a while. We're about to get to a part where it's just pretty RNG, because we really don't want Charles to come after us. We'll take this path over there, and once we get around 850 meters away, I'm going to start jumping away. And this is going to be a very long trek. If Charles finds us, we're dead and we lose the run. So yeah, we'll just hope that doesn't happen. Oh, and there's going to be Charles Bell again, which is very scary. I'm just going to keep running and hope that he doesn't find us. And it looks like we're actually fine. I'm pretty surprised we've gotten this lucky with Charles so far. But now we've made it to our waypoint, and we also see another box. This is actually really good luck. We'll check in here, and that is a ton of scrap. Was that just 9? Okay, well, this run just became amazing. We'll also take that scrap and talk to our boy Gale, who is going to give us our last key, and then we can leave Gale, because after this we have our next person, which is going to set up a trap for Charles, and we can run pretty much in this direction. I'm really not too worried about extra scrap now. There is some additional scrap you can take for safety, but we just got that box with 9, so we're kind of doing really well. Anyways, we'll come over to this building. It's a little bit laggy over in this area, but we'll just go through here. There's going to be 2 scrap on these tables and the floor. I believe that was Charles again, actually, but hopefully he's not going to find us yet again. And we'll talk to Paul, who wants us to set up explosives on this bridge so we can use it to take out Charles later. I don't know if that was Charles again. I thought I heard him, but whatever. It doesn't look like he's coming to us, and now we can set up these explosives. We have to set up 8 in total, 4 on each side of the bridge. We'll also pick up some scrap on the way, just like usual. Then we can get these ones, and they're in pretty easy places too. You kind of just run through. That's going to be all 8, and now we can return to Paul. And there's going to be another box. This is like the luckiest RNG I've ever gotten, and that is also 6 scrap. Yeah, this is a really good run. I do not want to lose it. So let's go talk to Paul and make our way to the next cave with the cultists. All right, Paul, thank you. He has it all set up, And now we're actually going to be able to fight Charles at the end of the game. And with this, I usually use this tree as a waypoint. I follow that direction, and that's going to take us to our next area. We can take this scrap on the way, and there's going to be another cave, which we can just drop down, also get that scrap. Somebody is going to see us, but they're way too slow to catch up to us. And now it's time for another creepy cave, and hoping that we don't get unlucky, because I have lost runs to this area before if the cultists are in unlucky positions. But as long as that doesn't happen, it looks like we should be fine. I'm going to open that up. While we're waiting for it to open, I'll get these 2 more scrap. Someone did notice us, but we're doing fine. We have plenty of health, and all we have to do at this point is grab that scrap, as well as get one of the guards to notice us, and he's going to be the one that's going to follow us. After this, we have to open up this bridge. We got this guy following behind us. Luckily, they don't do that much damage, or we're just like Superman, because yeah, we barely lose any of our health, which is very nice. I'm just going to check, make sure that he is still running behind us before we make it over to the exit. And again, we're going to die, so we can go straight back to our train. All right, thank you. I appreciate that. And that's only 1 scrap lost, which is pretty good. Now, as soon as we spawn here, we're going to immediately leave the train, and there's going to be a waypoint that's already set for us, but we're going to go slightly more over to the left. And this is because we have our last cave to get our final egg, and it's going to be over in this direction. I use those lights over there to figure out where to go, and yeah, it's pretty easy to figure out. Then after that, we can follow this path to where there's all these gigantic stones. Not sure what they're doing there, but we will take this scrap outside if I can actually pick it up, and go into our final cave, which this one is probably the coolest one in my opinion. I just like how big it is, how many cultists are around, and hopefully they will not be able to murder us. First, we're going to go through here. There's going to be 2 of these scraps, and there's going to be plenty of guys that can notice us, but just like usual, we're way faster than them, so we don't really have to worry too much. I've almost lost runs here before, but yeah, it's not that likely. We will go down here. That guy just completely missed his shot, kind of embarrassing. And we made it down to the bottom now. Here, we really want to hope that someone doesn't notice us. This guy can just be walking around the entire place, but it looks like he's not going to find us either. And there's going to be our last egg, which we can grab right there and move on our way out. We'll take the left path over here where there's going to be this chest that we can't open up. Go up here, and it's going to conveniently place us by a bunch of cultists, because yeah, literally as soon as we pop up, all of these cultists are just sitting here, so we're gonna let ourselves die while we also get a little more scrap. And yeah, thanks, I appreciate it, guys. That's also going to be -3 again, but honestly, it's kind of fine. I mean, we've gotten so many boxes already. I'm going to increase my damage to level 5, and I guess we'll also increase our armor, and finally increase our train health. We should be good to take on Charles. The train's also going to be in the perfect position to go over to the last place, where we have to set up the eggs to actually fight Charles. So yeah, we're just making our way over there, and there's going to be another box. Okay, I don't know if I actually need this one, but better safe than sorry. That's going to give us 4 scrap, and yeah, this is actually the most insane RNG I've ever had in my life. But you can see this big building off into the distance, so I'm going to get off my train and just run up there. Again, there's going to be a bunch of cultists guarding it, but just like usual, they're not that good at killing us, so we can just run through. Hey guys, how you doing? Please don't kill me. I really don't want to lose this run. And we'll make it through this door, which we can use our last key, and there we go. We now start the cutscene, which we're going to skip. And now it's time to fight Charles, which we have our rocket launcher, and we also have our flamethrower, or I guess bug spray, but you know, we're just gonna go flamethrower, otherwise I'm gonna forget. But yeah, we basically just want to switch between the 2 of these things. We want to rocket launcher him because it does a ton of damage, and we want to use our flamethrower because it does constant damage since he goes on fire. I also want to make sure that my train has enough health, which is where the extra scrap is gonna come in useful, because yeah, if we lose enough health, then Charles is gonna be able to kill us, and obviously I really don't want to lose this run. So we were so close to dying right there. That was a little scary, but okay, Charles, you want to be faster? Dude, I'm trying to go fast. I'm trying to speedrun. Please, Charles. Yeah, this boss fight is a little RNG, just depending on what Charles does, but that's going to be getting into his second phase, or I guess his third phase. We just finished his second phase, and I don't really know if you can call these phases, but they kind of are because they have the short cutscene in between them. But yeah, he's more than half dead. I still have plenty of scraps. I'm going to use some right here because our train's about to die, and I only have 3 more, so we really have to finish this guy off. All right, Charles, I just need you to work with me. That's going to get in your next cutscene, which means there's only 1/4 of his health left. So I want to rocket launcher him. That did not hit him at all, I'm pretty sure. But we have plenty of health. We just used the last of our scraps, so I really hope that Charles isn't going to kill me here. And we could get a very good time. I'm going for the sub 23. Come on, Charles. Just get taken out. I'm going to switch to the rocket launcher. Hit him with that. One more rocket launcher will probably do it. I'll use a little bit of fire. And then here you go, bud. And that's going to be time. And I ended the timer a little bit late, but I think that was actually a 22:59. That's also going to put us in 11th place on speedrun.com, so I'll take it. All right, subscribe if you enjoyed. Bye.